appreciating Emma's work.
Well, she's hurling them about like they're nothing.
I tell you what, and you've worked with in some busy kind of sets and everything, so
Yeah.
this is cool, yeah?
Yeah, she's been doing it all, running at least three cameras by herself.
Exactly,
so
exactly. Very good at multitasking. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Yeah, really well.
Yeah.
The singing. How long have you been doing that? Like, how long has it been part of you? We've always known you as the actor, obviously. I know this is your fourth album, but
Yeah.
when did it kind of...
I've been touring for about 15 years, but there were some original rules. Like I was very self-conscious because I certainly know the stigma of an actor doing music, and so my first rule was that I would play anywhere 50 miles outside of Los Angeles, and it started like that. And the people that I've had the great fortune of playing with over the years have been really good friends, and the time that we have together is really special. And then had a lot of help with the songwriting over the years, and that's developed, and so yeah, so I'm at a place now where I get to do something that I really love, but I actually feel that the songs are in a place that they're worth people taking the time to listen to.
Yeah, I've heard the album. I'm trying to imagine what it was like when you were on set. So say when you were doing 24, way back when, or Designated Survivor, and you had your trailer. Would there ever be a time where the guitar would come out and, just for a bit of downtime, you'd
The guitar was always out. On 24, which is, long before I started touring, it was always out. It was kind of like your best friend. So I always had a way to pass the time. I mean, there's always that maxim that actors say, well, I do the acting for free, but they pay me to wait. And so there's a lot of downtime when they're trying to set up all the cameras and the shots. And so the guitar was what I would go to. And
even as far back as Lost Boys?
Oh, gosh, yeah. I started playing when I was about 11. Yeah, 10 or 11. I played the violin from the time I was 4, and I really wanted a guitar when I was 7. And I asked my mom, and she said, well, if you play the violin till you're 10, I'll get you a guitar. And she was true to her word, and the violin never got picked up again.
Do you know what I love, Kiefer, is every instrument you've illustrated for us. So when you said the guitar, you did that. When you did the violin, you started doing that. Can you do the trombone?
No. No, and it's very funny. I played trumpet in band, but I would get so excited about hitting the notes and being in concert with the band that I would forget to breathe. And so I would always pass out halfway through a song. And finally I landed on the poor kid in front of me, and they took the trumpet away.
Is that true?
Yeah. I'd be bum, 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 and down I would go like a fainting goat.
So stick to the guitar.
Yes. Yeah.
The music on the new album, there's quite a lot of retrospection going on. That'd be fair to say.
Very much so.
There's one, which I think the title, you'll correct me if I got this wrong, Growing Up in a Simple Time.
Simpler Time.
Simpler time.
Yeah.
That's. I mean, we live in quite a complicated age.
Yes.
Social media, the world we live in now.
Yeah.
Is that something you're really aware of now?
Well, yes, I'm aware of it. I'm one of the few people you'll probably ever meet that doesn't have a computer.
None at all.
No, I work with people that have computers, and so I have access to it in a way, but I don't go home and answer 300 emails, and I don't really want to partake in that. But the song really came out of me kind of really watching my own children and then watching my grandchildren, who are now older as well, and just how grateful I was that I grew up in a time where they didn't have cell phones and they didn't have computers, and we played differently. And it's not that I'm that guy that's saying we have to go back, because we're not, and we're not going to, and I'm not trying to put the toothpaste back in the bottle. I was just really reflecting on how lucky I felt I was to have had a very different experience. We went out at 9 in the morning on a weekend, and we played with our kids, and the only rule that we really had was be home by 6 for dinner, and everything else was just kind of what we made up. And so I was just reflecting on how nice that was, and how I hope for my children and my grandchildren that they find moments like that.
I can guarantee that our audience out there will be nodding along as you say that. A lot of people have that kind of sentiment at the moment.
Well, it's interesting. Computers in society kind of came to be really part of society during the time I was making 24. And it was so ironic that we were making up stuff with different computer companies that we were using as gadgets on the show. But I was so focused on making the show that I did feel like if you weren't kind of in the moment as it was happening, you were kind of feeling left behind. And so half of the reason I don't have a computer is because I don't want to answer 300 emails at night. But the other half is because I'm a little shy of it. I'm a little nervous by it. And so I think I know a lot of people that feel like that.
Do you have a mobile phone?
Yes.
Is it a smartphone?
Not in my hands. No.
I
use it as a phone.
Do you message your grandchildren?
Yeah, I can text, yes. Yeah.
And do you understand their emojis?
No, I've gotten a lot of the acronyms wrong too, but they're very quick to explain them to me.
Well, that's halfway there.
Yeah.
Then, because you can't be completely away from it, can you?
No, well, no, and I think what you're also finding is, I think, I was in the market the other day and a woman was trying to get her groceries and she wanted to pay cash, and she was having a real difficult time and she couldn't pay on her phone and she didn't have all of the kind of things that we take for granted that everybody has, but a lot of people don't. And I can't speak to here in the UK, but in the United States, 40% of the population doesn't have computers or access to the internet. So you're creating a kind of double society, and older people are kind of being pushed out a little bit because they either don't have access to it, they can't afford it, and the internet and broadband is not as prevalent in the middle of the United States as it is in maybe Los Angeles or New York.
It would be wrong not to ask you about movie or film projects, because people associate you with, action movies and all that stuff. Are you still doing stuff?
Yes, oh my gosh, yeah. It's, acting is the great first love of my life, and that's what I do. I just finished a film called Father Joe, which I was thrilled to work on. It was written by Luc Besson and produced by Luc Besson, and Bartholomew Grossman directed it. It's with myself and Al Pacino, and it'll come out later this year. And it's about a murderous priest.
What's Al Pacino like to work with?
He's fantastic. It's so funny because when you get a chance to work with someone you've idolized,
Did you fanboy him?
I really tried not to. I think I did a little bit, but I really tried not to. But he was extraordinary, and I think you always get very nervous that either you're going to embarrass yourself in front of them, or more importantly, that they're not going to be as kind of fantastic as you've made them out to be in your head. But he was all of those. He was just really just so nice and so charming and very, very funny, which I didn't quite expect.
It's been lovely having you here right on the sofa. I know you were performing last night, so you had to get up early.
Yeah,
late night. So.
We finished. So we did 34 shows in 40 days, starting in Hungary and Poland. We finished last night in Leeds. Literally walked off stage, got in the back of a car, and drove here.
Well, we're very grateful.
We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Kiefer does.